Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ruby Gaming XA. So I'm here to talk about NECA information about Godzilla and Godzilla King of the Monsters. You know, there's been a lot of information lately with Godzilla King of the Monsters figures and all that. So I want to focus on NECA. So I told you guys in my last video, if you guys haven't watched it, how NECA finally has the rights to do King Ghidorah, Mothra, Rodan. But what I didn't talk about, because there's more information, there's actually an interview with the main guy at NECA, the guy that works on everything and is in charge of everything. So there was an interview and he talked about how finally NECA is actually working directly with Toho, and that they actually have the rights and the license to do all the figures, not just King of the Monsters figures. No, they can do all the figures now. That includes all the figures from the past, like Destroyer, Space Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla, Biolante. They can do so much things, and it opens the possibilities for so many things. And this is good news for NECA and obviously for the fans. And they were talking about how sometimes they would have to wait for approval from Toho or even Legendary, and how sometimes it would take so long for them to get like the green light for them to release a figure, or for them to have like the green light to sculpt a figure, because they would have to send like the Godzilla design to Toho, I mean to Warner Brothers / Legendary, and from there it would have to go to Toho, and from Toho back to Legendary, and from Legendary back to NECA, and it would take so many months, and sometimes they would say yes, sometimes they would get a no. So it was difficult working with 3 companies at the same time, or 2 companies for them, and that's why you guys saw so much delays with figures and all that. And they even mentioned how they had the Shin Godzilla Awakening version done since last year, and how it was sitting back in the shell, just getting dusty and all that, and that figure was done a year ago. So just think about that. They had this figure done last year, and they're just finally releasing this figure because they finally talked with Toho. They finally got like the green light that they can do all the figures, that they can do whatever they want, and Toho is very happy. Toho is very happy with NECA. They obviously saw their Godzilla 62, their Shin Godzilla, and Toho was very happy, and they have confidence in NECA. So they were talking about how it was funny, because I even mentioned this in my video, how it's funny how NECA and S.h.MonsterArts seem to have a spy. And it's funny because last year NECA did a Godzilla GMK, next S.h.MonsterArts did a Godzilla GMK, and this year NECA is doing a Godzilla 62. Next S.h.MonsterArts is doing a Godzilla 62. And and the guy told him, the guy that was doing the interview told him, don't you think that's kind of weird how you guys are doing a 62 and S.h.MonsterArts is doing a 62? Do you think there's a spy with you guys or in the companies? And he said, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if there were spies with us or in their companies. And a lot of the times, all the figures from S.h.MonsterArts and NECA, they're being made in the same factory, in the same company. So I wouldn't be surprised if people from their team got to sell our figures and they wanted to copy us, or vice versa. So pretty much what he was saying is that he wasn't surprised that companies had spies with each other and that they were trying to copy each other's figures. But in terms of him having spies, he's not sure about that. He's not sure if he has a spy with his team or with S.h.MonsterArts. And they were talking about how they're listening to fans, and I told you guys, unlike S.h.MonsterArts, NECA actually listens to you guys. And I told you guys over and over again, I know NECA gets a lot of hate. I know that a lot of people say that they don't listen, but they actually do listen. They were talking about how they're willing to listen to fans, how they're open to votes on figures in the future. So in the future, they might do votes where you guys are gonna be able to pick which are gonna be like the top 3 monsters that you want NECA to do, or probably they're gonna do something where which is the most popular monsters that fans want, and they're gonna sculpt them and make them into a figure. And they were talking about how NECA is looking at other companies. They're looking at what works for other companies, what doesn't work. They're looking at sales, what makes a lot of money, what doesn't make a lot of money. They're looking at figures, how they sculpt them, and that's really good for NECA. And I told you guys, NECA is. I wouldn't be surprised if NECA overthrows S.h.MonsterArts in the future. And they were talking about S.h.MonsterArts. They were talking about how S.h.MonsterArts has their line, and they have their line, and how S.h.MonsterArts goes for more movie accuracy, while they go for more stylized figures. But in their mind, in their opinion, their figures are very good. They have a lot of details. They even said how their figures have a lot of details, even more than S.h.MonsterArts or other companies. And it is true, guys. It is true. If you guys compare some of their best figures from NECA, they have way more details than S.h.MonsterArts. And I told you guys, just take a look at the Godzilla 2014 or their big figures, or figures from their Alien line, for their Predator line. Figures that are well sculpted actually have more details, more articulation than other companies. And it is true, guys. He's right about that. And, it's nothing against S.h.MonsterArts or NECA, but honestly, S.h.MonsterArts has let me down so many times, and they're not cheap, guys. They're figures that cost so much money. And I know D-Man was talking about how, it doesn't matter if we're promised something in the promotional art, and then in the final product, it doesn't look accurate. And I have to disagree with you, D-Man, because, money isn't free, and there's a lot of people that work their ass off so hard just to buy an S.h.MonsterArts, or there's kids out there that ask their parents for $100, and it takes them so much. Probably they have to wash dishes, they have to do homework, they have to do so much just to get an expensive figure and not to get a figure that they were promised. I don't think so, D-Man. I think you're incorrect on that. Especially figures, it's like you saying that you're gonna pay for a Lambo, right? And next thing you know, in the Lamborghini, they're showing you promotional pictures that it looks super badass, super beautiful. And next thing you know, they give you a Lamborghini that you were promised. And next thing you know, it looks totally different from the promotional art. You get no tires, you get nothing, you get no paint. The paint is chipped. Wouldn't you be mad? Lamborghinis are cheap, They're very expensive. They're super, super expensive. So just look at it like this, D-Man. Or for everyone else, wouldn't you be mad if S.h.MonsterArts was promoting a brand new figure? Let's say they were promoting a, let's say Super Godzilla, a Super Space Godzilla, and they were promoting it to be super accurate, and it was gonna come with effects, buildings, so many things, with lights. It was looking super good, and the lights were super bright. It had sounds and all that, and in the final product, the lights are very dim. They're not as bright as the promotional pictures. You never got the effects. You never got buildings. The paint job was terrible. Derpy eyes. A very bad sculpt. Parts falling apart. Especially when you're looking at $200, for those figures. They cost, yes, some figures, especially the super tall figures, they can go for 200, 150, 170, 130, 120, 110. They're not cheap, D-Man, and that's what you have to understand with fans, that if you're paying for something expensive, you best bet you're gonna get what you're paying for, especially with X Plus. X Plus, they're expensive, but hey, man, they're packed with so much details. They don't have derpy eyes. You're getting what you're actually promised, in the promotional art. I mean, just tell me when X Plus has failed you. I don't think it has failed anyone. What they show is what you get, and what S.h.MonsterArts shows you isn't what you get. You get the cheaper version, the derpy version, a version that you were never promised, a version that they never showed you. So we're most likely being lied. We were getting promised fake things, and that's disappointing, for a company like them, that we're expecting a lot of details, a lot of good things from them. And that's why NECA is better. If you guys remember back with the Shin Godzilla, they actually took their time, listened to us. They were even on Facebook, Twitter, talking about how they're going to improve his head, and a lot of fans were giving them concept art of how they should change his head sculpt. how they should do his body. NECA was open. They were listening to fans, and they took their time. They even delayed this figure to make it even better, and they paid off, guys. So how can you say that NECA isn't listening to fans when S.h.MonsterArts isn't even doing what NECA is doing today? Has S.h.MonsterArts ever created a poll? Has S.h.MonsterArts ever came out to Facebook or Twitter or their social media and tell you guys, we're open to listening to you guys, we're open to taking requests on what figures you guys want, we're open to improving our figures, our sculpts? Have they ever done that? No, they haven't. NECA has, and I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm just calling it right now. I wouldn't be surprised if in the future NECA overthrows S.h.MonsterArts, and I'm telling you, they will, because next year is gonna be the year of NECA, and it's gonna be the year who shows who actually does a better job with their figures. Next year is gonna be a hell of a competition. It's gonna be S.h.MonsterArts versus NECA, and I'm telling you, NECA isn't gonna hold back this time. They're not staying behind, because what I'm about to tell you could change things. It could change them, because with this interview, I'm gonna be talking about more NECA this time, because this video is obviously based on NECA and Godzilla King of the Monsters. So they were talking about, and it's obvious that NECA had access to the Godzilla King of the Monsters designs way back, because just listen to this. In the interview, the guy that works at NECA said, we've been working on the designs for Godzilla King of the Monsters. We even have a fully sculpted or a half sculpted Godzilla King of the Monsters back in our studio. We're working very hard on the brand new design. We're working very hard on King Ghidorah, Mothra, Rodan. And then the guy asked him, I have a question. So, looking back at Godzilla 2014, that sculpt was obviously very beautiful. Are you guys going to reuse that sculpt or that mold to do this brand new Godzilla King of the Monsters? And he said, no. This is a completely brand new sculpt. It's gonna have a lot of details. Brand new sculpt. It's very beautiful. Even though the Godzilla 2014 that we did back in the day in 2014 was very beautiful, very movie accurate, this is gonna be a brand new sculpt. This Godzilla looks totally different. This is a brand new sculpt compared to the old one, and we have access to the 3D prints. We have access to the data from Warner Brothers Legendary. We have access to all of the designs, and I'm telling you guys, it's game over. I'm telling you, if they have access to the 3D designs, access to the designs and everything, you can expect to get figures packed with a lot of details, movie accuracy. I'm telling you, look what happened back in 2014. NECA versus S.h.MonsterArts. NECA beat S.h.MonsterArts. A lot of fans actually prefer the NECA Godzilla 2014 over the S.h.MonsterArts, because the Monster Arts was stylized versus NECA. NECA wasn't. And I'm telling you, they even mentioned how they were open to working on multiple figures that weren't just from the movie. They were saying how for the Alien line and Predator line, how they obviously do figures from the movies, figures from video games, figures from comics, figures from all over the place, right, guys? Alright, guys, I'm back, and I was talking about NECA, and I was talking about how NECA isn't just going to be working on figures from the movies. They're gonna be doing Godzilla and monster figures from video games, comic books, from fan things, from like fan made monsters and all that. So that's very good, because that means there's a possibility that we could be seeing Super Godzilla or Super Space Godzilla. Monsters that we haven't seen in monsters from video games, from comic books, and from other lines. Which is good, because this is going to make NECA stand out from S.h.MonsterArts. Because you're gonna have a company that's doing figures not just from movies but from video games and from other places, and it's gonna make this company unique. And they talked about how they had a Godzilla ghost sculpted in translucent white, and supposedly it looks super beautiful, but obviously that figure got canceled, and they didn't work on that Godzilla figure anymore. So yes, they did have a Godzilla ghost. They talked about how There was a possibility that they could even be working on a Zilla figure. How there's a possibility they could do in the future a 12-inch Godzilla 1954 with sounds and all that. And I was telling you how NECA could overthrow S.h.MonsterArts, and they can because they talked about um, some information or some juicy information that got my eye or that got my head thinking, damn man, this could be their chance. This could be their year to overtake S.h.MonsterArts. And they specifically talked how with Godzilla King of the Monster figures, since King Ghidorah is super big and Rodan, Mothra, Godzilla 2014 supposedly increased his size, he was like, oh yeah man, they're super tall man, they're super huge. So with this brand new line, we're not just going to be doing our traditional 6-inch figures. No, we're gonna be having deluxe class Godzilla King of the Monsters figures and possibly 12-inch figures. And if you guys don't know what deluxe class figures are, they're figures with more details, more sharp. They're around 8 inches to 9 inches tall, very tall. And if you guys don't remember, or if you guys want a comparison, go back to when NECA used to do Pacific Rim figures, and they released their first knife head. The first knife head, yeah. It was like around 6 inches. It was an alright figure, but a lot of people were saying that it was too small. And next thing you know, NECA came out with a deluxe class knife head, and that knife head looked so much bigger. It had way more details. It was super sharp. The details were on point. He was 8 inches, 9 inches tall, around that height, So if you compare the 6-inch with the deluxe class, there's no comparison. Obviously, size is a big gap in between them. Size, details, everything. And I'm telling you guys, it's like comparing like their. I don't know how to explain to you guys because their Pacific Rim line was obviously very good and they had a few deluxe class. But if you guys know what deluxe class means, then I don't have to explain. But overall, it's just a figure that it's meant to be bigger than your traditional 6-inch figure, packed with more details, packed with a better paint job, super sharp, movie accuracy is going to be better. So overall, this figure is going to be a better version of your 6-inch, and then the 12-inch, oh man, not to mention the 12-inch figures, it could go even far, man. They could add way more details, more articulation, lights and sounds. So this is gonna be good, guys, because this means we're gonna be getting 6-inch figures of King Ghidorah, Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and then we're getting deluxe class figures from all those, and then possibly 12-inch figures. So we're gonna get like 3 different size of lines, the 6-inch, the 9-inch / 8-inch figures, and then the 12-inch possibly. It's not confirmed, but I'm pretty sure that they will do that because now they have full power to do whatever they want. It's to their mind. They can do whatever they want, however they want, and this would be very good. And I'm telling you, man, NECA could overthrow S.h.MonsterArts, and don't believe me, guys, don't believe me. But so far, with all my theories, with everything that I've been saying about King of the Monsters, so far, have I been incorrect? No, I haven't. I proved to be right in the Godzilla City in the Edge of Battle, how the nanotech merged with the Falcons and all that. So far, all my theories, everything, it's proven to be right, you guys. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen. I'm telling you guys, S.h.MonsterArts has been paying attention to other companies, so I wouldn't be surprised, guys. I wouldn't be surprised if they're looking into multiple possibilities. And just think about this, guys. They even say that in many ways their price point fits better, than S.h.MonsterArts, because S.h.MonsterArts is obviously it's being targeting at the Japanese audience over there, in Japan. So it's obviously for the Japanese audience because those figures cost $100 and their figures just wouldn't work at $100, especially for the details and everything that they put into those figures. So they're saying that the US is in Japan, those two countries are different, and that each country has different price points, and that that price point wouldn't work in the US if they were to sell figures at US dollars or $100, it wouldn't work, it wouldn't sell. So that's why they're going for figures that cost 25, $20 or even above. And I'm pretty sure that the 6-inch figures are gonna be like your traditional 25 to $30, and the deluxe class we're looking at maybe $45 to 50, and the 12-inch maybe 55 to $80. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. And this opens up possibilities to NECA to do effects, so many things. And next year we're gonna see who's the true king and the true god. Thank you guys for watching Ruby Gaming X. I'm out.